When I hear about great NBA talent being mentioned, especially between the years of 1975 and 1985, a lot of the same names get mentioned. You got greats like Dr. J, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and of course Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you can even ask those guys and they say who was one of the toughest competitors that the modern NBA players or modern fans don't really know about, and a lot of them would say George the Iceman Gervin. What's good, family? It's your favorite cousin Kajin, aka CJ, and in today's video we're taking a look at one of the NBA's most prolific scorers of all time, George the Iceman Gervin. A quick overview of my boy Iceberg Slim if you didn't already know who he was. George Gervin is a 6'7", 180-pound wing who mainly occupied the shooting guard and small forward positions. Selected in the 3rd round with the 4th pick, 40th overall by the Phoenix Suns in the 1974 draft, he didn't actually make his NBA debut until October 22nd, 1976. Fun fact, Dr. J didn't make his debut until the exact same date, so they started their NBA careers together. In his NBA career, he had played 14 seasons. 13 of those were spent with the San Antonio Spurs, where most of his prime took place, where he was doing most of his damage, which I'm going to talk about within this video. And within the 12 seasons that he played with the San Antonio Spurs, every season he had made the All-Star team. In his career, he averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on good efficiency, shooting 50% from the field for his entire career. And not only was he a 4-time scoring champ and also a 7-time All-NBA member, he is also one of the rare players to be mentioned on both the NBA anniversary team and the ABA all-time team. Now with all those accolades, yes, he was in fact a hooper. He was one of the coldest hoopers of all time, especially in his era. He was what I would define as an inside the art scorer, and what I mean by that is a lot of his damage and when he scores the ball, whether it comes from shooting or passing, happens within the 3-point line or within the area that would be considered the mid-range or inside line. And with his quick first step and long arms and ability to get to the rim, especially compared with his signature move, the finger roll, where he could hit any shot within 5 to 15 feet of the basket with that move, it made it insanely difficult to guard him. It didn't matter where he was at. If he was within that 3-point line, he could get buckets and there was nothing you could do to stop it. If you hit him on the block, he can go in the post, hit him with a finger roll, running hook shot, pump fade, all that. He could play on ball to do the little pick and roll action and start coming downhill and finish inside the lane. He could play off ball to knock down a little mid-range jumper. And remember, he's a 50% shooter, so he will make it. Or he could just go one-on-one and hit you with a little bit of quickness, and he can not only confuse his first defender but also throw up an array of fakes and moves to also get the second backline defender to jump and bite on his moves as well. He was an amazing athlete, very athletic, could really throw it down if you wanted to, but his main thing was the finger roll. He get within that little 5 to 10 feet of the basket, he just finger roll it up and there was nothing you could do about it except try to block it. And when it came to fast breaks, that was the name of the game in San Antonio when he was playing, because you get him in the open court with his long arms and his library full of moves, it's not much you can do, especially when it's on the move. And remember, a scorer is only as good as his ability to pass out of double teams, which George did very well. Whenever they would send double teams at him to stop him from doing his moves, he would just kick it out to a wide open shooter or a wide open cutter. He wasn't the best passer and none of his passes will blow you away, but they're nice fundamental passes that when the double team comes, he's not a liability in those situations. And if all that wasn't enough to deal with this nigga on the offensive end, he was also an amazing offensive rebounder for his position at his time. When I look at footage of him doing offensive rebounds, nice little tip ins, a little like they forgot to box him out and he got a little tip in right there, a little tap back finger roll right there, come down, kick it out, just keeping the possession alive, so you had to box him out on the offensive rebounds. And don't you dare think my boy was no slouch on defense either. Now I wouldn't call him no top tier defender, but he was definitely a solid two-way player with that explosive, unstoppable offense, and with just average or above average defense compared with his athleticism, he did enough to not be a target on defense. George Gervin averaged 1.3 steals and about 1 block a game, while both his career highs for steals and blocks are both 7. While looking at the footage, he is more of a help defender rather than a one-on-one defender. However, if you leave him there on the island, you can trust that he could hold his own unless you're dealing with top tier talent. And with him being such a great transition scorer, he knows what the other team teams are trying to do in transition, so his IQ along with his long arms helped him be an amazing transition defender as well, being able to knock the ball away or getting some nice blocks from the blind side. Now with all that being said, he should be talked about more than he is, but here's my theory on why he doesn't really get talked about as much as other great players from his era. First of all, he played on a small market team like the San Antonio Spurs, who even in today's current media outlet are still a small market team where not a lot of free agents or media attention gets to. So with him being on a small market team and him not having a single finals appearance, his relevancy within the NBA memory gets kind of faded out. However, he was still one of the great players to ever play. He reminds me of Carmelo Anthony in the fact that he's a high scoring wing whose team isn't really that good to get over the hump and make it to the NBA finals, but them as a player is phenomenal and they deserve better. So always remember, a player's ability and skill matters first and foremost, especially on this channel. Their accomplishments, that includes championships, MVPs and all that stuff, come secondary when comparing players who have both of these accomplishments. Alright family, this is all I got for y'all on this one. Make sure to like, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't already. It's been your favorite cousin CJ, aka Supreme Kajin, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Y'all stay safe out there, alright? Peace, peace.